Deshaun Watson met with the media yesterday. I guess he had to, but I don't know how much prep time they gave him. I don't know if they said, all right, these are things to bring up. These are things maybe you don't bring up. If this is brought up, this is how you answer. At least this is what I would be doing. I would be, if I'm running the Browns PR department, I'd say, Deshaun, come on in. Let's talk about this. Here's a question. How do you answer? What if somebody brings this up? What do you say? This is what you need to do. Well, I don't know if he listened to anybody. I don't know if he got good advice. This is year 2 of this. And here's a portion of Deshaun Watson yesterday meeting with the media.
The whole situation changed me, in a situation where it's just kind of I had to lock in on myself, channel and really know who I'm, surrounding myself with, and just really who's going to be there and support me, even when I'm at my lowest point. And, the last 2 years was definitely my lowest point in my life, but, that's part of life. And, I just go from it. I learn from it. I continue to move forward and push forward and continue to show my real character, my real personality and who I am.
Okay, that's not the sound that I wanted from Deshaun Watson. He talks about blaming the media, and if we can find that, that's far more impactful than that. But he can't be blaming the media. Not for the coverage, what happened, any of that. He has to just avoid these landmines there. Just, if you want to talk about it, I'm changing. I need to change. If you don't want to admit, there's no culpability or whatever you want to say in avoiding some of these things, you don't want to create a headline here. You're a quarterback on a team that right now is polarizing, it feels like. They're not must-see TV. If Deshaun Watson didn't have this off the field, then he would be a must-see quarterback. You have Nick Chubb on there. I mean, they have some star power. You have one of the originals as far as franchise. They had great history there, great fans there, great tradition there. I don't know how many times the Browns are going to be on national TV, but if I'm a network executive, CBS, NBC, ESPN, how many times do you want them? Thursday Night Football? Because you kind of have to jump into that conversation a little bit. And I think you don't want to come off and say, well, he's a great guy, or I've known him, or any, you want to present the facts, but then how much time do you spend on something like this? Your pregame show. Nobody wants to hear that Deshaun Watson, the media was out to get him. We want to see him play football. But even then, I don't know if people are rooting for Deshaun Watson. Nick Chubb, you are. Maybe you root for the Cleveland Browns. But when it comes to Deshaun Watson, you can't play the blame game, okay? You were a creep. You got caught, and you're now in Cleveland. They overpaid for you. That's their problem. Maybe you lead them to the promised land. Maybe you win the division. But that's a team he's really difficult to root for. And now when you do this, where here we go, now it's the media. No, you did all of this stuff. We just brought it to light. Yes, Don.
And even from that soundbite we played, we're supposed to feel sympathetic towards him, that he was at the lowest point of his life, which he put himself in that situation. And are we supposed to care who stayed by his side and who his real friends are?
Well, he's blaming others. That's the problem I have. You take ownership of it and now move on. We've moved on with a lot of athletes. In my 40 years of doing this, I take ownership, move on, and people might invest in you. Hey, you know what? A second chance here. Here is Deshaun Watson blaming the media. You able to get that, Marvin?
So, the other thing with the Browns is they're kind of in this funky no man's land where, remember a couple of years ago, they were this team we're rooting for. They're finally going to be, coming from nowhere. And
I think with Baker Mayfield, they were interesting.
Yeah. And their history is, the movie Draft Day was at the Browns for a reason because they've struggled forever. They're in this no man's land where you can't root for them, even if they were good. And they've got this quarterback who's got tons of baggage, but he's in our face and you can't get rid of him. They're on TV, I think maybe 2 national TV games. And that seems low for a team with a big star quarterback.
But what constitutes a national TV game? Is that Monday Night Football? Is that Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, scheduled Monday night. They've got a scheduled Monday Night Football game week 2 with the Steelers, and then a late season they got a scheduled night game primetime.
How many times do you have to be on national TV as far as the big game, a standalone game? Thursday night, I think every team is going to be on Thursday night, or supposed to be, but I don't know how that works if you're a network, when you get Monday night, when you get your schedule, then the Browns are there, they're going to be there, and Sunday night they're going to be there. I don't know how that works with the home office. When they devise the schedule, do they want the Cleveland Browns to be on national TV? Can you lobby against the Cleveland Browns?
Would you lean against it if you ran the league and were skewing the
I
networks?
don't want to showcase the Cleveland Browns.
Okay. That makes sense. It's a tough story
if you
to tell.
truly believe what you stand for with the NFL, which I don't, but if you're presenting yourself as to a female audience, that's where the rise in numbers of female fans, do you want to do it? You may not. You may need another year of this. Give me a little cushion here. Yes, Eaton.
And I don't even know how much of a draw really Deshaun Watson is anyway, just to people who like football. I mean, last year he went, 3-3? I barely even remember him playing. And then before that, it was 2020 when he played. That feels like a long time ago.
But the Browns...
And even when he was in the league, at the Texans, he was buried there.
But the Browns are still a draw. That's the difference. If he was with Houston, nobody would care. But with the Browns, that's still a big fan base. Yeah, Paul.
Okay, Monday Night Football Week 2 is Steelers versus Browns.
Right.
On Monday Night Football Week 1, they always do like a look ahead to the next week. They always tease what's coming up. Do they say Kenny Pickett versus Deshaun Watson? Or do they say the Steelers versus the Browns? Or do they say Nick Chubb and the Browns?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what the ESPN's philosophy is on something like that. If they want to showcase Deshaun Watson, it might be Nick Chubb, because you can make a case that Nick Chubb's the best player on the team, certainly the offense. I mean, he's a great running back. I don't know if people are tuning in for Nick Chubb, certainly with the running back position. But if you want people to either tune in or not tune in, then I would definitely say, yeah, sure, let's showcase Deshaun Watson. Yes, Eden.
I don't think you talk about any specific player. You just talk about the history of the rivalry.
Yes.
You lean into the history. And don't worry about these guys that are here now, because this is one that you watch every year. This is one of the best matchups in football.
The Chiefs and Cowboys and Chargers and Bills have the most primetime games. This will be the first time in a while where some teams don't have primetime games. Let's see who those are. The Texans, Falcons. See, I'd like to see the Falcons, Cardinals, and the Colts.
But you're weird.
I know.
You love like Desmond Ritter versus
Sure.
Taylor Heineke battling it out.
But not even a Thursday night game. Every other team has at least one primetime game. NFL will only put deserving teams in prime time. The message is simple. If you want a primetime game, put a strong product on the field and you'll be featured. What's the over-under for the Browns this year? I mean, that's a tough division, but are they going to be playoff worthy this year?
It's weird because if you told me the Texans were playing the Colts and their two rookie quarterbacks were starting, I'd tune into that. On a night, like a Thursday night rookie mess-up game.
Yeah. Oh, I would too, but then I don't know if I'm in the mainstream when it comes to what I like to watch. I have said this before. I will tune into a game because I don't think anybody else is tuning into a college football game. It's like, you know what? I'm going to do that. Somebody needs to tune into this game. I got Air Force Academy against, Colorado State. I'm going to watch that. Why? I don't know. Feel sorry for some of those teams. Do you have Deshaun Watson, Marv? Okay, here we go.
When I was a young kid, I didn't think of the NFL. I didn't know I was going to make it out of high school. My mom being sick and having tongue cancer and not being able to eat solid food ever again. Not having a father figure in my life ever. Probably 27 years, only seeing him 4 times. And different stuff like that is things that people don't really get to hear about. Especially last year has been, the media directing and narrating something else. It's been kind of overshadowed. So have an opportunity to tell that story in front of those guys and look their teammates in their eyes and be able to touch them. And
all right,
let them know.
but you heard him say the media is certainly creating a narrative. By the way, can we get the microphone all the way in front of him? What the hell are we doing here?
Yeah, he was saying that it's great that people could talk about his life, where he grew up, different things without a father figure, but he's catching heat for it's been the media directing and narrating something else about my life story, as if the story of him the past couple of years has been media created.
Like we
or fueled.
created something. Like we created this massage, controversy here. Like, come on, what are we doing here? Just shut up, play football. Nobody wants to hear you try. It's like, hey, let me tell you why I'm innocent here, why they're out to get me. Nobody cares, okay? We saw what happened. We heard what happened. We read what happened. Just play football. The fact that the Browns overpaid to get you to go there, you didn't want to go there. You went there for the money. Just go play. Now be worthy of that money that they're paying you. Live up to that. Start there. Yes, you need to change your life. Maybe change the people around you. Maybe stop booking massage therapists. And I'll go back to a Hall of Fame player who told me when I asked him, and he played over a decade. I said, how many massage therapists did you have in your career? And he said, one. I said, one? He goes, yes. When you find that person who can help you get ready every week, then you stay with that person. It's no different than getting a doctor. You don't have like 17 doctors. You have one main doctor. You have one massage therapist. Maybe another one if you go to another team or that city. But you're not looking on Craigslist to go, I'm thinking, I don't find my doctor on Craigslist. I'm like, man, I'm not feeling well. You have to give me a full physical here. Somebody on Craigslist here. Yes, Paul.
NFL has media access policies.
Although I could probably find nurses on Craigslist that are
You
willing.
might.
Yes, thank you, Todd.
NFL has media access policies where the head coach and the quarterback must be available to the media weekly. The starting quarterback weekly. So you will hear from Deshaun Watson at the podium every single week, and usually after the game.
Just okay. He said what he said. Whether he truly believes that, just move on. Just move on and play football now. Make it about you and the Cleveland Browns. That's it.